Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, and welcome.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to see you smiling faces this morning. Did you all have a good Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of turkey left over?
Not now.
Not now. Fantastic. Yeah.
How's that?
That's great. Thank you so much. Well, I think everybody here knows I'm the Reverend Dottie Boone, so I don't have to do that too much. And one of the first things that I want to talk about are the things we're going to be doing here. We are going to be having Christmas Day service. And then following Christmas Day service, they are having a Christmas banquet. It's a potluck, and you're going to be hearing more about that. So if you're making your Christmas plans, you might want to think, oh, I could go to church and then I can be here at the Billy DeFrank with people and have a community. And so we want you to know that. And it's opening up to everybody. So it's going to be a very big event. We'd like to have you join us. For those of you who picked up your program, you should have the winter holiday party. It's December 6th. It's going to be at the UCM office, and we'd like to see you there, and at the UCM headquarters. The other thing that we have, and I'm going to ask our wonderful Reverend Janet to talk to us about the Light of Lights, because it's December 14th, and that's a busy time of year, and we want you to make sure you mark your calendar. So Jen, you want to come up and say a little bit, or you can use your mic right there, and then I won't have to.
You won't have to move. So I just want to acknowledge this is our community candlelighting ceremony that we do through the Center for Living with Dying program. Mary has been one of our keynote speakers. Dottie has been our keynote speakers. It's our community candlelighting, where we invite you to light a candle for someone or something that you love, and then you keep that candle and light it throughout the holiday season. We have music, we have wonderful speakers, and we also light community candles for special people, such as first responders, healthcare providers, people on the front lines, helping our community every day. So please come, invite your friends, your loved ones, your family. We've had little kids, we've had 95-year-old people, okay, at this candle lighting. It's wonderful. And if you're not comfortable going in person in a large group, we are going to live stream it, but it will not be recorded. Okay, it will not be recorded because we are singing some songs that we can't record. Okay, so please join us. It's an amazingly healing event, especially this time of year, to acknowledge our loss, but more importantly, to acknowledge our love. This is our 40th year in person.
Yay, that's fantastic.
Where is it?
You want to just stay there, because we'll get to you in just a little bit?
He's asking when and where. Dottie has.
Okay, and
it is December 14th from 6:30 p.m. till about 8:30 p.m. It will be at Clark Street at the Center for Spiritual
living, yeah.
I always have to make sure to not say Center for Creative Living. It's Center for Spiritual Living. And it's amazing.
Lauren, why don't you bring your chair up? Come on up. Yeah.
And what happens, my friends, is that the community energy allows us to really connect with the love. I mean, it sounds like it might be a little depressing, and I'm not saying that it's not maybe tearful, but we get in contact with that love and that light that we can share with each other, which is so amazing, because our wonderful Reverend Dr. Mary Garry is going to be talking about that. And just to let you know that I hope you all come. I hope you all come. Put it on your calendars, and if you can't come, know that you can live stream it. And Dottie and Corky have done a wonderful thing. They put a flyer in your bulletin, in your church bulletin.
Okay. Another thing I want to announce, I don't know how many of you have listened, but I'm doing a prayer for the day to lighten your way. And I do this every evening about midnight. And And each day it's from a different religious background. So when you call this number, and it's in your program, 669-288-4138, you're going to hear a prayer. And please leave a message if you want a specific prayer said for you. And we will do that. And then Dr. Eileen, I'm going to say, why don't you come over here and sit in the front so I can see your smiling face, because I'm going to ask you to do meditation.
Okay. Exactly what happens when you show up late.
Yeah, look out. You don't know. And these prayers, it's amazing. I've heard from people all over the United States. They say, I called and got your prayer last night, and I really did appreciate it. And so there's a lot of things that we have going on in the world. And when you can hear a prayer from that perspective, it gives you a feeling that you're more connected. So a call. And if there's something about it you like, let me know. If there's something about it you don't like, don't let me know.
I thought you were going to say like Clarky.
No, I'm fine with criticism. It doesn't bother me at all. But it was like, at 12 o'clock midnight every night when I'm doing this, I wonder, is anybody going to call? And unfortunately, the phone doesn't record if you called or not. So I have no idea until people say, oh, Dottie, I heard your prayer.
Well, either that or nobody has called.
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that they have. And so I'm excited about that. We have, Tricia is going to be speaking next week, and it's called Building Resiliency Through Advocacy. And she's a great speaker. She's one of our ministerial candidates. She's going to be here, and she's going to talk about how her life looks from a wheelchair. And so it's going to be very, very interesting. And then we have Quest of the Magi with Farima. Now, Farima, I get so excited about this. When she was at our place over on Cole Circle, and one day I said, so Farima, what's your background? And she said, the Magi. And I said, oh, are you Zoroastrian? She said, yes, but my lineage is the Magi. And she can trace her lineage all the way back to one of the wise men. And it has happened since then that she has spoken close to Christmas every year since then. And for her, she says she so looks forward to this. And she's back from a rough trip to Iran and to a lot of different places. She is a dancer, and she is internationally known. And what happened is she was looking for a place to practice, and she found our place. And one day she said, you and Corky are the nicest people I've met in a long time. Can I hang out here? And we said, hang out. We'd love to have you speak if you want to, and dance. And she's done all of these marvelous things for us. And if you haven't heard of Farima Brenji, she is an incredible woman. And please come on December 11th. And then December 18th, Tim is going to be speaking, and I love it. Healing the Inner Child, the Metaphysics of Charles Dickens.
Oh,
And I am so excited about that. And we happened to see a very weird movie called Spirited, brand new. It's on Netflix. And it is with, who are those people? Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. And it's a different look at the Dickens story, and with the different ghosts and everything else. It's one of those movies I'm not going to really recommend because it's just so weird, but you might want to check it out. Anyway, so, anybody have anything they want to announce? Yes, Joan. Come on up.
Do you want to use this one?
No, here you go, right here.
We can share.
We can share. I took a shower this morning.
Well, we are starting a speaking program called Tell Your Story. And you've heard Dottie announce different speakers who are telling their story. We each have a story, but we don't live in a society that encourages telling our story. So what I'm hoping to do is set up a program that will work and help the ministerial program so that everyone will learn how to tell their story. So we've had 2 meetings, and they were both on Zoom on Friday night, and it went well. People were starting to tell their story. So I'm having surgery next Friday, and the Christmas season is coming up. So I'm thinking we'll wait until January to look at that more closely. But that's something that's coming up. And what you might want to think about is, what is your story? We each have a story. How did we get into the spiritual program? How did we get into this community? What awakened us and forced us to look at a spiritual answers and incorporate those into our daily life? So that's what we're looking for. And as you're thinking about that, you might try doing a story that just is what I call a 5-minute story or a 2-minute story. Start timing yourself a little bit, because that's important to know how long your story is. So look forward to that in the new year. I will not see you next week, but I will be back as soon as I can.
Good. Well, hey, good luck. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And speaking of the ministerial group, next Thursday night, people who are doing it on Zoom, people who are taking their ministerial program, even in person, if you had to have homework to get done, please get it in to me by Thursday. Now, homework is people, when they don't make it to a class, I send out homework that they have to do. And someone said, "You're just testing us to see if we really watched it, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I am. I want to make sure that you get all these wonderful speakers." Last week was amazing. Week before last, we had an amazing speaker with John Simmons, Reverend John Simmons, and Reverend Lynn Rogers. Amazing. When John starts talking about UFOs, it was pretty dynamic. But so anytime you hear of a speaker that was speaking at our ministerial classes, if you want to, ask me for the video, and we'll just send it to you, because we've been having some excellent speakers. And thank you so much for those of you who are in the ministerial class. We really do appreciate it. We have people like Joan, who's already a reverend, who's taking the class. And wasn't that interesting last time?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Every week is amazing because it brings out a different focus. It's not just about sit and meditate and look at the stars. It's using it in your daily life and allowing an explanation of strange things. One of the gals said, "Well, I'm in spiritual studies because I had such weird things happening, and the spiritual studies helps me make sense of that." And we're sharing those things in these classes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so they've been fascinating, and I thank you for the Universal Church of the Master for letting us hold our services there, our classes. It's been very, very amazing.
Ed said that was mine. It was hiding your face.
It's hiding our face?
Your face.
My face.
You're the only face here.
Yeah, Joan, I hope it didn't...
No, she was standing on.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ed, wherever you may be. Hey, isn't this woman looking great? Look at her. And 40 pounds, is that it? Yeah. 40 pounds.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those great mysteries of life. I've been on the exact same diet, and I'm up a pound, and she's lost 40.
That's just not fair.
That's called exercise.
Well, maybe better not lose any more, or you might gain it.
No, don't you do that. Okay. Well, I'd like you to all just to put your feet flat on the floor and get ready for the wonderful Reverend Dr. Eileen, who had no idea this was going to happen. I'm keeping her on her toes. This is what an actor has to do. And now if I can just very slowly sit down. There you are.
Good morning, everyone. Am I positioned good?
The mic is in your, yeah.
We're okay?
Your mic is in your ear. Look out.
Tilt it up a little bit?
Good, perfect.
Okay.
No, you're perfect. Yay!
Thank you.
Oh, and Eileen, what do you know about Sophie's play? Where is and when?
Oh, it is going to be here, I believe, on December 18th. I think I can verify that, and then I'll get the information to Corky for the play that we had performed it here as a reading, and it's going to be performed as a full play, and it's The Other Side of Despair, and it is an amazing journey of a woman who fully embraces who she is, dealing with the family that seems to have an attachment to who she was, and to step up into realizing that her healing truly does come from within herself and that she can ultimately choose love. So I will be sharing some more information about that. I'm truly honored to be a part of this play, and I encourage everybody to support it because it resonates on so many levels.
Thank you.
All righty. So everyone take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just allow anything weighing on your body, your mind, or your spirit to just fall into a little imaginary basket next to you, because that's your care basket, and that's where your cares go, because in this place and at this time, you don't need to hold on to it. So I want everyone to picture yourself walking up to a huge building, a giant hall, a convention center. You notice there's many, many people walking in. And as you enter, you notice there are tables that are set all over the room. And one table has spiritual awareness. And you go up to that table, and the person behind it talks to you about spiritual awareness and all the different facets of it. And you notice that there are little shining prisms that are all on the table. And the person speaking picks up one and hands it to you and says, "This is yours." And as you hold it, you feel it growing warm in your hands. You feel its light spreading into you. And then you walk to another table, and it says leadership. And the person standing there speaks to you about the importance of being a good leader, of inspiring others, of speaking your truth and walking your talk. And there's all kinds of little prisms on that table too, and they pick up one and they hand it to you and they say, "This is yours." Then you go to another table and it says healing. And the person behind the table speaks to you about the importance of healing, not just of the body, but of the mind and the spirit, and talks to you about how they know you want to help others heal. And they pick up a prism, and it's glowing brightly, and they hand it to you, and they say, "This is yours." And as you go from one table to the next, one says justice, another defense of the weak, another table protect the children, another table honoring the elders. And you realize that these are all purposes in life. Purposes in life maybe that you've spoken that you want to do. Maybe that you've never spoken about what you wanted to do, but you've held it within your heart. And as you carry all of these little prisms with you, and you feel each of their light, you notice there's an empty table. And you walk over to it, and you stand behind it. And you take all of your gifts and spread them out on that table. Healing, justice, leadership, protection, spiritual awareness. And as you lay all of your shining prisms out on a table, their light forms a huge aura around you and them. You realize that every single purpose you've ever wanted is within you. And as you stand at that table, you notice people are walking up to you. They ask you about each one, and you share it. And as you speak of healing, you see a ray from your prism go out and touch the heart of the person speaking to you, and they are healed. Someone asks you about leadership. You tell them about the strength within themselves, and a ray comes from that prism, touches that person's heart, and they find the courage to stand up and lead. And as all the gifts have come to you, you become the prism. And as light shines out from you, touching everyone around you, you feel a greater light fill you, a light of spirit, a light of the universe that you are a part of, and it is a part of you. And you spread that light to others. And you know that your purpose lay inside you all of this time. And you light the way for others to find it within themselves. Let your purpose shine. Allow it to bring you joy. It's not something you have to do, it's something you get to do. You are the purpose.
Oh, the path opens up inside of me, and I know I have the tools to walk and be free. And every moment and every dream is fulfilled, is fulfilled. Like a rainbow it shines on me, like a beam of light I can see. And every moment that I can be myself. Oh, my path has not always been easy. Oh, my light has not always been bright. But I reach inside and I find all that I need. All that comes, all that goes is leading me. I am enough. I am myself. I am the dream I want to be. I am the light I want to see. And we dance in the light and it follows us as we're on our path and it knows us. And we can dream, and we can be, we can be the light, the shining light, the light.
You just hold that energy and feel what it's like to be a light for everyone around you. But don't forget, to be a light for yourself. And so it is. Thank you so much, ladies. That was amazing. Both of you, I don't know how you come up with things so rapidly, Dr. Eileen. I just test you every Sunday, I know. And for, Reverend Dr. Janet, it's amazing how you come up with the words that just incorporate the meditation. I mean, you two, for me, are miracle workers. Thank you so very much. That was great. I think there we go. Here it is. Ta-da! For you that don't know, this camera just now started pointing to me. So for a while there, it was looking at the blank chair. So they're going to say, what's she talking about? This is kind of interesting. Oh, welcome. We're having such a wonderful day today already, and it's going to get better because we have our wonderful Reverend Dr. Mary Garry. And it's so wonderful to have Mary here this morning. Thank you so very much, Mary. And she's going to be speaking about leveraging the light of the holidays. And when we look at Christmas, quite often, those of you here were raised with that was the only holiday, without realizing how many holidays are celebrated in this month. And mainly because of the winter, whether it's the winter solstice that we're celebrating, whatever it is, it all comes about because we're in that dark time. And then there's a light that comes, whatever faith it is. And did you want to come up here now too, Chris, since you're going to be part of this, or are you going to wait for a little bit? Whatever you want to do. So please welcome Reverend Mary Garry. Okay, now you're going to have to kind of scooch in there between the podium and me, okay? There you are.
I'm a pretty good scoocher,
You
but we'll
are
do
a wonderful
okay. Yes,
scoocher.
indeed.
Yes, you are.
Good to see you today.
Oh.
So what we want to talk and what we want to kind of accomplish is to look at light a little different, to look at the power of light and see how well light interfaces with energy, so that you can maximize things that are happening to you, that you have some choices to make that will allow the light and the energy to become manifest. And it's an exciting time. It is the seasons of light. You know, we live in Willow Glen, and Willow Glen, of course, has their little lights up everywhere. They're up in the street. Everything's lit. And I remember the old Mary. You know, this Mary's pretty old. I mean, I'm 82. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about years ago old, you know. And I would say, I would drive through Willow Glen and I'd say, oh my God, Mary, you're already behind. You don't have your lights up. I don't do that anymore. Yes. You know, I say, look at those lights. What a wonderful reminder of the power of this season. And so it's an attitude we need to juggle a little, to say we have a right to this. It's okay. And one of the things that Dottie has talked about it a little bit, and Chris and I are going to talk about it a little more. And I tried this and it worked, and now it's not working. So if you could just reach over there, and on the bottom of the purple, it needs to be a purple candle. These are Advent candles. This is a traditional Christian model. And one of the things that we love about CCL and we love about UCM is that we have access to different models. We can take what works for us in each religion and utilize it to strengthen our own path. Because, you know, we're here to get it done. Whatever on earth it is, we're supposed to get done. We're supposed to figure it out and get it done. And that's, I think, that it's much easier to do that when you can look at a lot of places and see what resonates with you personally. And I think light and energy is a wonderful way to do that. Now, the Advent candle, that's the first candle right there, the candle of hope. The first candle symbolizes, I took this offline, so we know it's true.
I like that.
The first candle symbolizes a shining light in anticipation of the coming of the Christ child. It's usually a purple candle, some call it the prophecy candle. It represents God's forgiveness of sins, and that's a pretty traditional model, which says we're basically sinful, which I may sin, but I don't think we're basically sinful. I think we're basically good, and life comes along and gives us a whack here and there. Mm-hmm. Am I not doing? I know when she's coming. I've failed her. Okay. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Good. Phew.
I'm just helping you.
Thank you. This candle is associated with prayer, contemplation, repentance, if you want it, and hope. And I have asked Chris to join us and to come up with her menorah. And she's just going to take a couple of minutes because I want us to remember throughout this time we have together that there's not just one way. Right. There's lots of ways. And so I thought to consciously acknowledge the menorah and let Chris just give us just a few words about it would be a wonderful way to remind us that Judaism is a wonderful experience. Oh, we have clocks everywhere.
My email says 5 minutes.
Yes. Huh?
Is it 5 minutes?
5 minutes, yes.
Okay, all right.
And bad things happen if you go over. Now, don't be alarmed, though, of course, but I'm going to sit down now and give you your 5 minutes.
I'm being abandoned. Wait a minute. Thank you. I love your little hat.
No, for those of you who saw me last time, this is an odd angle.
Yeah.
For those of you who saw me last time, I have a permanent hat now. And by the way, this hat is from Uzbekistan.
You're a little bit louder, babe.
This hat is from Uzbekistan.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I feel very global at the moment. Okay. So, in faiths throughout the world, there's power in the metaphor, imagery of light. Hindus have their own festival of light called Diwali. The Buddhists have Bodhi Day. Mary's talked about Christmas. So for Hanukkah, the menorah was traditionally put on a shelf on the outside of the house to show that this is a Jewish home. And now it goes on a windowsill to shine a light through the darkness at the time of year when the days grow short. That is a menorah. And I'm going to explain the difference between a menorah and hanukkiyah. They're related.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you the most succinct description of Hanukkah I have ever read. Hanukkah celebrates the rededication of the Second Temple of Jerusalem during the 2nd century BCE, following the triumph of a small group of Jewish rebels known as the Maccabees against their oppressors, the Greek Syrians, who had defiled the temple by erecting an altar to Zeus and sacrificing pigs within its sacred walls. In order to rededicate the temple, the Maccabees had to light a menorah that would burn within the temple at all times. However, they only had enough pure olive oil, sanctified, to last for 1 day. Miraculously, the oil burned for 8 days, giving enough time to find a fresh supply of oil and to sanctify it. And the sanctification is 7 of the 8 days. Okay, so that's Hanukkah. The menorah, and there are 2 menorahs in Judaism. There's a 7 branch and a 9 branch. The 7 branch is the original menorah, the lamp. God commanded the Israelites to make a menorah. The 7, and this, I know this one has 9, but the original 7 allude to knowledge, and the 7th is the divine light. So the menorah starts out as being about light and universal enlightenment. Since God dictated the creation of the menorah from 100% pure gold, our sages deduce we must strive for solid gold, with regard to our motives and behavior. In other words, our shining character traits on the inside should reflect the holy actions we take on the outside, and vice versa. In this way, a menorah teaches us to bring out every soul's inner divine light so that we shine internally and externally. The 9-branch hanukkiyah, the menorah for Hanukkah is called hanukkiyah, represents not the 7 aspects of wisdom, but rather literally the 8 days of the miracle. So really different in what they're representing. 7 being nature, the soul, biology, music, metaphysics, things like that. But the 9 is the 8 days plus the 9. And the 9th is called the shamash, and it is always set apart. The 8 are always on the same level, and the 9th is always not on the same level. That 9th, or helper, is used to light all the other candles. The menorah, whether it's a menorah or a Hanukkah light, it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's not used for study or for work. Since Hanukkah is a holiday that's celebrated in the home, lighting the menorah gives each family the ability to bring the holiness of the holiday and of the ancient temple rededicated by the Maccabees into their own home. It publicizes the fact that God performed miracles then and continues to perform wonders in the personal lives of all Jewish people. It is an eternal flame. It is the symbol of the nation of Israel and its mission to be a light unto the nations. And that comes from Isaiah. So what might be the greater purpose of the Hanukkah? The menorah itself stands for light, wisdom, divine inspiration. The original temple menorah was an everlasting light, an oil lamp that was never supposed to go out. Its exact purpose in the holy temple was to spread the light of godliness to the entire world. It celebrates the miracle of people looking after one another, and doing what's right. In a traditional Hanukkah, like this one here, the candles representing each day are not higher than one another. In a divisive world, we have rituals to remind us that there is danger when we lift one group up over another. And there's hope and beauty when we connect to one another as equals. So the story of the oil and how it lasted for 8 days emphasizes the importance of religious freedom and hope and light. Light represents goodness. Beginning with the ancient Israelites, the light of Torah has guided Jews throughout history, including through many very dark times. And as in the story of the underdog victory of the Maccabees, a small ray of light can overcome vast darkness. And the shamash here, the light of the shamash, can be interpreted as God's helping hand in partnership with human action. One last thing, I have handed out to everyone a small photo. Is there anybody who didn't get one? Me. Thank you. You got a special one. Oops, I think that's mine. Hold on. Okay, somebody else who didn't get one? Oh, thanks. You got one. Okay. So I'm going to hold this up. Parky?
Oh, yeah.
Is that good?
Interesting with the swastika back there. The juxtaposition of that.
So I want to tell you about this incredible photo. This was taken in 1932. And what happened is that the rabbi lived on a particular street, and across the street there was an official government building. That was in 1930.
Could you describe what's in the picture?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, wow, describe the picture. Okay. In the picture is taken from the inside of a home. It's actually a living room, and it looks out onto the street through a large window. On the windowsill of the window, there is a 9-branch Hanukkah, the Hanukkah menorah, and it's quite prominent in the picture. If you look through the window across this fairly narrow street, there's a large official building, 3-4 stories tall. And smack in the front of the building, there's a flag with a Nazi swastika hanging. Is that pretty clear? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Rabbi Posner and his family were already living in this particular apartment, and they had put up their Hanukkah light probably every year. This is what you do. And as early as 1932, apparently, the Nazis had come in. They had taken over this already standing government building and made it their own. For that reason, they hung the Nazi banner, right, from the third story. And the juxtaposition in the photo of the Jewish candelabra, forefront, thank you, and the swastika in the back is really, really stunning. On the back of the photo, because she had it developed, and she wrote on the back, quote, "Death to Judah," says the flag. Quote, "Judah will live forever," answers the light.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Chris. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
It was beautiful. And Judah will live forever. And Christianity will live forever. And the Hindu belief in Dwale, that has the bright flashing light as one of its symbols, will live forever. And the Islam believes that the angels are manifestations of the light, that the angels that travel from the heaven space, wherever that is, and comes down through the energy of the light. It's a transforming energy, that the angels just come and appear to certain people and answer your question, even if they don't appear to you. It has more to do with our ability to see them, I guess. Well, I've tried. And, but we can't always see them, but we can know they're there. Just like we can know that the light is available to us. And I did, it was so hard to say what to say and what not to say. I mean, not what to say and what you don't have time to say, as opposed to what not to say, Dottie loves to say most anything.
As long as it's not hateful, you can say anything you want.
So, what it's helpful to believe in, there's no have to's, but what is helpful to believe in is the power of invoking the light. Now, my own personal beliefs, and my Tom isn't here too. He has a gentler way to put it out, but I'm who I am. And so I believe that when we come here, this is a temporary place. Nobody gets out of here alive. Sooner or later, we're going to die. And so if we have an experience that is established as finite, in other words, you have just so much time. You may have a lot of time or you may have a little time, but it's not endless time. So that made me think, well, then maybe I have a task for me personally to do with this period of time. And I have to think about, what is that? What is my gift? We have two beautiful children, and we lost both of them. And in fact, the center and the candle lighting ceremony carried us through that painful time. And part of it was learning to let go. Both of them had been sick before they passed. And so, of course, I chatted with God and said, look, God, I'm older. So take me, okay? Let them live their life, and you just take me. I'm available, God. Haul me in. No. Whatever the plan was, it wasn't that I would go then. You can't just whip it out and substitute for somebody. God knows I tried. I said, this wasn't what I was going to talk about. I better get back on track here. One of the things we want to remember about light is that it's the foundation of creation. Now, in Old Testament, which is the Jewish Testament, really, they said God created the world, and the first thing God created was light. Before the other things could be made manifest, light had to be made manifest. And if you look at science, and it says the way light is structured, it penetrates darkness. If you go into a dark room and you turn on a flashlight, that light goes into that darkness, and you can see in that darkness. You can move it around. If you went outside and you turned on the thing of dark, it's nothing. There'd be nothing. It doesn't work that way. What it works, and what we have to hold on to for our own strengthening, is the power of light to diminish darkness. Now, this wasn't in my talk either, but I'm going to tell it.
Why am I not surprised, Mary? Go for it.
So, we do prayers. We pray every day in our house. And after one of the prayers, the idea came to me. I don't hear voices, and I know some people do, and I believe they can. I don't. But sometimes I get ideas that I don't think I initiated. And so this voice said to me, pray for Putin. I said, I beg your pardon, God, pray for Putin? Why would I pray for that so-and-so? And I said, he is surrounded by darkness. And the thought, I don't hear a voice, but the thought said, that's why you pray and send light. Light can go into darkness. Darkness does not go into light. In other words, I said, well, I don't want to raise my hand and say, get into a fight with Putin. He's got a lot more resources than I do. He said, no, darkness does not come back to strike the light. Light goes into the darkness to thin it, to diminish it, to make change possible within it. And so I said, well, that's certainly what I would like to have happen. So now I pray for Putin. I send light to Putin and to the excruciating circumstances of the Ukraine. I mean, I so admire those people that they were put into darkness by destroying their infrastructure. And they said, no, we don't care. We're holding to the outcome. And so I just would say to you to remember that if the prayer for light would help Putin, it certainly ought to help me. I think. And so don't underestimate the power of asking the light to come and inspire you. Sometimes I'd be stuck on a problem at work, and you know how you go to bed and you get up in the morning and then poof, you got the answer. Well, I would try now to leverage that by saying before I go to bed, could you send somebody with the answer? Could you send somebody down on the light force with the answer? And I wake up in the morning, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but more times I get it. So what I'm saying to you, and I'm running out of time to say it,
Don't worry about time. What you have to say is more important than time, Mary.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Is that what I want you to do is to embrace the light, the concept of the light. Understand that the light is accessible for asking for it. So you can use the concept of the light to assist you if you're threatened, if you're trying to solve a problem, if you don't know the next step to take. Then you ask and you say, bring the light to help me. Bring the light to allow me to know the next step. Bring the light so that change can be made. And I have some words on the light, and I will give them to Corky. And you can send an email to Corky if you want the talk I was going to give. But I gave the talk I gave. And what we want to do now is to have you just take a deep breath and go inside yourself for a moment. And as you go inside yourself, think of a place that you would like the light to come. And Janet and I are going to sing together for just a few moments because music facilitates the movement of energy also. And so we're going to ask that the light come to you and fill your being so that solutions that you have been struggling with can be found.
Bring the light to our soul. Bring the light to our soul. Shine the light in our hearts. Shine the light in our hearts. Bring the light to our soul. Bring the light to our soul. Shine the light in our hearts. Shine the light in our hearts. Shine, 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 oh the light. Shine, 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 oh the light. Shine, shine, join in. Shine, 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 oh the light, shine.
And may you go forth this time that we've shared together with the light brighter and more available to your soul, to your problems, to your life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
So Kimmy says, representing Temple of Light, UCM 815, sending light and love to everyone at CCL. And on Zoom, may your inner light shine both.
Oh, thank you, Chen Li.
Your light shine
Yeah.
forth.
For those of you who may not know, we have different charters all over. The Center for Creative Living is a charter of the Universal Church of the Masters, but there are charters all over. So when we hear from this, like Chen Li, Reverend Chen Li is letting us know that their charter is shining light. And I'm
Light is the name of the
yeah, light. And the thing is that her husband passed away this year. So this has been a dark year for her.
Yeah.
And for her to call in and say, we're shining the light, it's like, yay, Chen Li, thank you so very much. Yeah. That is wonderful. Well, at this time, we're going to pass the basket. And if for those of you who have a program, look at the back. And Dr. Eileen's going to lead you in the prayer.
So
Giving to the
whether you have funds to put in, which are awesome, but even if you don't, we've been talking about that light. Put your hand over the basket and I want you to picture your light filling that basket because it matters, because it makes a difference. And it doesn't matter, oh, well, I don't have much light or I don't have much to give. Believe me, you've got more than enough. So, giving to the ministry for which I receive my spiritual support and nurturing is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that spirit is the prospering power, enriching every area of our lives.
After 20 years, I still get it confused. So thank you so much, Dr. Eileen.
Isaac or Vita.
Oh,
So Julie says, this is a message from Reverend Glenn, our Forever Light theme.
oh, that's
Okay,
wonderful.
thank you so much, Mary and Chris. We have Patty and Joyce say thank you for the wonderful talk. So inspiring. What a great talk. Annie says thank you for the wonderful talk, Mary, and for your part of the talk, Chris. May the light of love shine on all of you for all days. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have it's Reverend Ann from Oregon and Shin Lee from Santa Rosa, and we have people all around Zooming in, and we're so delighted to have that. Okay. And thank you. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that we're in this holiday season. Please nurture yourself. It's real easy to say, well, I should be buying something for Aunt Frances, and I should be buying something for Cousin John, and I should be doing this, and I've got to prepare food, and I've got to clean my house, and all of a sudden you're exhausted, and you're going, what happened? I was just getting ready for the holidays. I don't know, but I know in my family it seems like December 25th comes and December 26th people collapse. And it's just so much energy.
Yeah.
The excitement, the lights are wonderful, but they're energizing. And sometimes you get to the point that your battery is dead. So please, during this period of time, honor yourself. Sleep when you have to, eat when you should. Take care of yourself, because it can get to the point where you are just totally running out. Your battery has just discharged. So take care of yourself. You're saying something? Oh, okay.
Standing on the corner. Dottie, may I share something?
Yes, please do.
Something that we've always said at the Center for Living with Dying. All of us are going through so many losses and changes. If something takes more energy than it gives, think about letting it go this holiday season. If something gives you more energy than it takes, think about keeping it. You can always pick it up again next year if you decide that something is going to take more energy than it gives you. And so I would offer that, really do that litmus test of determining, what's going to take more energy than it gives, and consider changing it or letting it go for this holiday season. And if it gives you more energy than it takes, consider doing it, because it will give you that energy return.
While you're at the mic, why don't you do the closing prayer? Look out. If you come up here, I'm going to get you working. Okay?
Tom used to tell me, don't get into the Christmas crazies.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Don't get into the Christmas crazies. Incredible. Beloved Creator, we come to you with open hearts, with open minds, and with open lives. Work through us. May we be that light in the world. May we receive the light when we need it. May we call upon the light for those around us, even though we may not know in our minds that that person may need our light. Let us take this message and give everyone our light. Giving it is an infinite giving of receiving, and we give you that gratitude for allowing us to be the bearers of light in our world. May every step we take, every word we say, be a reflection of that infinite light, and may we receive it into the very depths of our hearts in whatever way we can to radiate it out into our world, into our universe, and into our life. And for all that you are, for so many of us, in so many ways, the way you present yourself, we give you thanks, we give you gratitude, and we give this day that begins with the light our greatest honor. In all the ways that we know you, so it is. Amen. Blessed be. Ashe.
Thank you so very much. How wonderful.
And,
Well,
April's asking for prayers.
April took a very bad fall, her leg,
no.
and the leg has gotten infected. So please send April your healing prayers.
As she said, please send light and prayers for my family and my healing. Thank you, my dear friends.
Yes.
Thank you.
So it is.
And so it is. We have food. For those of you who didn't stay last week and pick up food, please do.
Wow, what a
And
nice spread.
there's a lot of food over there. And if you feel like, well, we have plenty, but we have neighbors who are in need, please take some to them. This is for something that is donated to help. And we want to help donate it too if you already feel your pantry is full. I really want to thank Reverend Chris Brown and Reverend Mary Garry for their talk today. I think remembering things, remembering to pray for Ukraine, remembering what the anti-Semitics are doing right now, it's so negative. Remember to support those people that you feel need some light. If you have a neighbor, if you have a friend that's going through a difficult time, shine your light, help them. That's one of the things that we can do best, is help each other. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. And yes, Amanda, do you have something to say?
No.
If I looked over there just as she raised her hand, be careful. You would have had to get up here and say a prayer, man. Everybody's had to today. But I want to thank you. And for those of you in the ministerial class, we're going to be seeing you next Thursday. And that's when you tell me if you want to be a minister or just a student of spirituality. I love you no matter what your choice is, but I'm going to be excited to see you on Thursday, okay? And bless each and every one of you and keep your light on.
Yeah.
Bye now.